collision with purpose, in pursuit of purpose.
Greetings, friends of the A Collision with Purpose movement, and welcome to our podcast, Bridging Generations, Voices of Men in a Changing World. I am Dr. Laxa Stevenson. This groundbreaking podcast delves into the multifaceted experiences of men across different generations in an area where societal norms and expectations rapidly evolve. This show offers young and older men a unique platform to voice their challenges, triumphs, and perspectives.
Hey, good evening. My name is Augusta Foster, one of your co-hosts. And in each of these episodes, we look to foster an understanding and bridge the gap between generations, exploring themes ranging from masculinity and mental health, all the way to career dynamics and personal relationships.
What's good? I'm Xavier Wilcox, also another host. And by bringing together voices from varied age groups, the show sheds light on the commonalities and differences in the male experience, encouraging open dialogue and mutual learning. Whether it's a teenager grappling with the pressures of social media or a senior reflecting on the changing definitions of manhood, Bridging Generations is committed to uncovering the real stories of men navigating the complexities of a changing world. Together, we are your moderators.
Yes, we are, and we are your moderators, and we have as a moderator tonight none other than Mr. Gary G. Gary G. McCook, president of GIFs. Hello, Mr. McCook. How are you?
Doing good, Dr. Lax, and good to see Augusta and Xavier again. Big ups to you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Big up, G.
Hey, the word tonight is what? Big up.
Big up.
Gary says it's big up, that it's big up.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So we're here again on another Thursday night, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation today. Again, we're talking about education, mentoring, and entrepreneurship. We're talking about building businesses, right? And especially this is so important for our younger generation. And we have some of our younger ones on here, don't we, Gary?
Yep. Definitely.
We certainly do. But, Mr. McCook, I really want to have a conversation with you about something that is happening, because you're doing some really important work, some big stuff, I would say. So I'm going to play a quick video, and after I play the video, if you can really indulge and just talk to us about it. Can you do that?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Let's go to the video.
I'm ready.
Let's do it from the beginning. Let's do it from the beginning. Got a little bit of technical difficulty. Did you hear that? Because I could barely hear it on my end.
It was a little low. In the first it was okay, but then it went very low.
Yeah, and I did notice when we log on, they said there's some technical problems going on with Facebook, Augusta, as you were saying.
Right. Yeah. There's issues. Facebook is having some backdoor and backstage issues.
All right.
So that might have been the problem.
I'm not sure what the problem was. Volume is really low.
Black spelling be champion in a Kingston, the city that's where she come from. One thing with we have ambition. We come from many, but the whole of we are one. Help me sing this song. Galang. I'm ready.
That's a cut, man.
All right. So what are we ready for? What are we ready for, Gary? I keep hearing this. I'm ready. What are we ready
for? Yes. So we're going to have what you call a high school jammings come April 20th here in Atlanta, over by Front Page. And this idea came, let me back up. So, we have the Jamaica International Independence Foreign Song Competition, which it's in operation now. People are sending in their songs, and they have until the end of April to turn those songs in. And then, we go through a process of judges and fans around the world, with the finals on July 27th. So this is our fourth staging. So we had to find a way, instead of depending wholly and solely on sponsorship, we had to find a way to create our own funds to underwrite the event. So kind of sat back and thought and said, hey, been digging in the pocket for the last 3 years, got to find a way to supplement something. So came up with the idea of high school jammings, which basically in Jamaica, most of us, the high schools we went to, we wore uniform. So it was a uniform event. So each school, prides their uniform. So I said to myself, why not let us do something where we can bring people back from their high school days. Those who can wear it, can still fit in the uniform can wear it, and those who can't fit, they can wear the colors. So that's how that idea came about, and I call it high school jamming. So on the 20th of April, we're going to have a lot of the alumni. We have a lot of alumni here in Georgia. So we're going to be meeting there. And on that little clip you saw a while ago, that was me in my high school uniform. That tie, that's my original tie I wore back way back in 1973. So when I was trying to tie it now, you're much bigger now. So that second piece there had to be way up like a bump, but it worked. It worked. So, and then, so it's a fundraiser for the GIFs competition. And also, we're going to be giving back to an educational cause in Jamaica. So it's twofold. We're trying to have it done in different states. Georgia is going to be the pilot state. And then we're going to try and do it in different states and even in Jamaica. So again, historically, each alumni will have their separate, it has been going on there, they have their separate fets or whatever they call it. So this is the first time we have a culmination of all the schools that are going to be there together. We'll have the trivia questions being asked. We'll have the most authentic. So it should be a fun night. So I'm not sure, Augusta and Xavier, you can come through. Did you guys wear uniforms in high school here?
I mean, I know this is kind of, like an old school jamming thing, Xavier. I know this was all of 3.5, 4 years ago for you. Yeah, I wore uniforms from elementary school through high school. So,
okay,
yeah,
so we're going to special invitation for you to come through. We will introduce, your thing here, and we should have a good night. See all our friends from way back when, who can fit and who can't fit. So that's how that came about, and we've been getting a great response. I have some folks who actually went to Jamaica to buy their uniform. So the schools are going to be benefiting now because they're going to have all these different folks who have left school years ago coming back now to buy uniforms. So sales should go up there. So it's a ripple effect. Again, doing what we love, meeting and talking to people and having a good time. Life is short. So
Indeed.
that's the genesis of it.
And we're now live on Facebook. Before we had some issues. We're live now. So if you notice, the numbers are going up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play that video again because not too many people have seen it. So we will play it again because we need to play it. No, because we weren't live at the time we played it because of the issues that Augusta talked about on Facebook. Right. So yeah, so we're not going to actually talk about it again, but we'll use it to take us out of this segment. So Augusta, let's talk about your commitment, and we're also going to bring Gary in on the commitment as well. The commitment to something that you're doing that is so impactful, have implications for not just you but for others. Where are you with yours? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Yeah, for those who, if this is your first time listening, shame on you. Every Thursday, 7:30. My commitment was, very much a commitment to service, whether that was clothing, feeding the homeless, doing activities with churches, providing of service, really giving to people who can give me nothing in return. So this week, my service was in the process of driving on the freeway, seeing a young couple out, seeking change, doubling back, asking them what they wanted to eat, and literally going, I don't say I went out of my way, because you don't go out of your way to be a blessing to people. You be obedient to God when he tell you to be. And going back, doubling back around and bringing them some food and putting some change in their pocket for them to possibly secure a room or whatever it was for the night. But doing that was my service for the week, being able, and that's my goal for the year, provide and do stuff for people and expecting nothing in return.
It's powerful. Xavier.
All right. Yeah. So for those of you guys that may not know what mine was to say no. I've kind of got the hang of giving towards others and doing that, but I would give and not expect anything in return, but I wasn't giving anything to myself in return at the same time. So I decided to give to myself more. And then a few weeks ago, I told you guys that I was going to start getting in the gym now. I'm starting to fill out my sweater a little bit. So, I mean, it's been working a little bit. I've been struggling to get up the stairs, but it's been working. I also, while I wasn't on last week, I was doing a work trip. We went to Bermuda. Well, I went to Bermuda. I went to Bermuda to recruit some students. And I was out there on the beach, and it's so peaceful and relaxing and just nobody there to bother you. But I was just stressing because there was nothing for me to do. So I couldn't relax. Like, it's hard for me to relax, but that's what I'm going to work on as well. Just figuring out, what's the thing to get me to relax and be calm without having something in my hands.
So tell me a little bit more about Bermuda.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a nice, wonderful place, wonderful island. The widest part of the island is about 2 miles. So that shows, you can get across the entire island in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. But it's extremely expensive out there. Like $40 for chicken tenders and French fries, expensive. And I'm talking about 3 tenders. Yeah. But it was a great time. Beautiful place. Sunset's amazing. I had a beachfront view at the hotel and everything. Great time. Yeah.
The beach nice?
Oh yeah, beautiful. Clear water. I've never really been anywhere with clear water. I'm from Georgia, so all I got is good old Savannah.
All right. So thank you, Xavier. Welcome back to, we missed you. We missed on having you on last week, but you was out doing your thing, your daytime gig.
Yeah.
Bills, right?
You guys too.
Got to pay the bills. So we welcome you back. So Gary, can you just jump in on this commitment thing? Because I know you're a man of service. You live a life in service. What is the commitment that you've made this year, what we in 2024?
4.
Yeah, what's the commitment that you made and how is that going?
Well, I think I made mention before. My commitment this year is I got to look out for me and family, because I tell people I'm in the last third of my life. And when you get to that stage, you have to look out for family first. Make sure you have everything set up that as you get a little older, you don't have to be scratching. And, I'm in the personal care home business, and I see where families come in and they're not prepared for that time where mom or dad has to be in a personal care home, and it's a very costly venture. So I started focusing on that because I'm dealing with people and not really, and I'm saying, am I ready also? So the commitment was made for that, and to expose individuals in forums that, look, you got to start preparing for that time of your life. You find that your kids, be careful. Don't depend on the kids for that rainy day. They have their families and they're going to move on to other things. So you got to prepare and make sure you can take care of you. My experience where I am is folks come there and they drop off mom and dad and they're gone. You may get a check, but you don't see mom and dad. So my commitment is to enlighten folks that we as a people have to make sure we know what is ahead of us, what the costs involved are. A lot of people come into my place, especially, I'm going to be honest with you, people looking like you and I, and they love the place. They love the place, clean and everything. But then when you tell them how much it is, they can't afford it, right? So although you have empathy for them, you also run a business and got to make sure you stay afloat. So that's one of my goals, Dr. Lax and guys, to educate folks when it comes on to planning for that rainy day. Today, Lax, I think I was talking to you. I have a friend who called me, guys. It's Easter, and we have this Jamaican or special buns from Jamaica. And somebody called me and said they want a special bun, but where they are, they don't have it. And I said, give me 30 minutes, and got in my car and drove there, and now I have his bun and cheese ready for him. Again, I look at those things as just a part of service, giving. What is it going to take out of me to get up and go? I sent him a picture of the bun, and I haven't heard from him yet. I even got cheese. He wanted only bun. I got bun and cheese for him. So again, anything that I can do to give, because each moment is a precious moment, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. Look at those guys on the bridge yesterday. They went to work, right? And what happened to them? They left home and kissed their loved ones. Hey, see you later. Later never came. So just being more aware and trying to make it a reality.
Gary, you gave me an idea, and I know Donna our producer is backstage listening. I believe we will do a show. I'm not sure if it's on this platform or the next platform, about your type of business and the importance that you can break it all down to us about personal home care and the service that you provide. I think that will be an awesome show to do, because so much information there that so many of us don't know anything about. So I think that's something we'll schedule for you to come on, and maybe another owner of personal home care, and that will be the topic. We'll just have just dive into that, because that's big stuff there. Taking care of our elderly folks, and as you said, so many people are not prepared. So many. So well, we talk about serious stuff in this show, and my commitment is to find as many scholarships as I can find from wherever I can find it, whether it's full, partial, or just a small amount. And that's what I'm doing. This month, this week, we have done very well with that. We have given out, I believe, 5 full scholarships. And is it enough? Maybe not, but it's a lot. That's 5 students now who are going to school and don't have to worry about how their school fees are paid, right? So looking to add more to the list. In fact, with the 2 books that we have out on A Collision with Purpose, company, each sale on our platform, we're donating $5 towards A Collision with Purpose scholarship fund. that for me is a big deal, because at the end of the day, we're talking about education and empowering people, empowering students especially, and building businesses and helping them to see what being an entrepreneur is like. But if they're not exposed and don't have the opportunity to go to school, how can they learn, right? There are other ways to learn, of course, but you still have to, going to school is one of the important piece. So that's my piece. Anything happening in the news, anything that is big happening that with implications for who we are, how our lives, and all that stuff, what we're doing. Anything happening that we want to share before we take a quick break?
I would reiterate the sentiments I had about 2 to 3 weeks ago, where I discussed possible closures of school. I believe it's State Bill 18 or State Bill 28 out of Mississippi, where they're looking to close 6 to 7 institutions, specifically consolidating them down to a number. 2 to 3 of those, Mississippi Valley State, Jackson State, and Alcorn State University, historically Black colleges and universities. I spoke about the importance of voting, and not necessarily, whatever political side you're on, but really paying attention to actions people take. Roughly an hour ago, the state of Tennessee ousted the entire board of trustees from Tennessee State University. If you understand Tennessee State University, it is referred to as the state college in Tennessee. For years, people have been upset because the State College of Tennessee, in its capital, is one of the largest institutions, and it just happens to be a historically Black college. There is a heavy push to basically dismantle and tear down this school and turn it into a traditional PWI and or merge it with others. So when we talk education and the importance of voting, the people who have now been placed on there, a number of them look like us who are currently in this space. My uncle, you say all skin folk and kinfolk. So really take your vote seriously. Take politics seriously, because you have to pay attention to not just how someone looks, but really the moves and the decisions they have made, because they can make or break your state and your local government and your institutions. And really looking at this as a father with a teenager, your child's future immediately.
Well said. We're going to take a quick break, and Gary, stay on as long as you can. I know you're a busy man, but we welcome you to stay on and be, just join this conversation, this discourse. So we know you have so much to add, so much value. So we're going to take a break, and I'm going to play this thing again about GIFs and the event that is coming up.
Play the song.
And Gary, you'll get a chance again to talk about it somewhere in this next segment. So we're playing this, and we're going to bring on our special guest tonight. Augusta, you'll introduce him. And of course, we want to do that drum roll, right? Like we enjoy doing. So I'm going to play this. And after that, after this is over, Donna will take us to break.
The world in a education, 1998, don't forget Jody Ann. She had the first Black spelling bee champion in a Kingston, the city, that's where she comes from. One thing with we have ambition. We come from many, but the whole of we are one. Help me sing this song. Galang. I'm ready.
A collision with purpose. In pursuit of purpose.
welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching Bridging Generations, Voices of Men. And want to just tell our viewers that please share the stream. If you believe that what we're saying, what we have to offer is important, is of value, don't keep it to yourself. Spread it out, share it, blast it out. Okay. So, all right, Augusta, let's bring on our special guest for the night.
So tonight's special guest can be described by really a lot of numbers. He's a father of 6, grandfather of 2. He's somebody who's been extremely active in his community, so much to a point that he served 15 years as an elected official. In that time there, he implemented and instituted and helped garner in a number of first-time African Americans and Black folk in that area. One of his biggest pride and joys is for 20 plus years, he served as a girls basketball coach, which in that challenge, he's been able to meet parents, network, but really be a direct effector of young women's lives and the people around them, really serving as a mentor and active member in his community. Above all, a man of faith, a man who absolutely puts God first. And I know she will want me to say this, one heck of a husband too. So salute to our guest, my brother John Rogers.
All right, before we bring him on, we got to do the drum roll. He got on with the drum roll at the same time.
Thank you, Augusta. Actually, it was the first half of my coaching career was with the boys, and then I transitioned over. Yes. So, anyways, I've been listening to you guys. Xavier, you're the one that opened up for the thing in Atlanta, right?
Yes,
High
yes.
school, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then Gary, are you in the state side? Are you in Jamaica?
If I'm with Jamaica?
No, are you in Jamaica or are you in Atlanta?
Oh no, I'm right here in my basement in Kennesaw.
Okay, so you're so okay.
Yeah, that's my behind me. You see, we have a international song competition. So that's my banner there with my Jamaican colors and 2 folks basically singing.
Okay, well, thank you, Doc, for having me on here tonight, and I've been watching you guys and catching some of your shows, but I definitely appreciate what you're doing, in Jamaica as well as Africa, and just want to encourage you to keep up all the good work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, John. John, you and Renee, you're such big supporters of everything that we're doing. You not only do you donate every time we ask you to put your your money, your mouth is. You jump into your pocket and you come out, and so we're doing the same work though, aren't we? We're all doing the same work. We're all in the same business. We may be doing it in different locations, but you're doing what you're doing, with your work, and we're doing what we're doing. So we appreciate you, and that's why we ask you to come on as well, because we know you have so much to add, so much value and information to share with us. And tonight, this just be the tip of the iceberg with what you have to add. So what I would like to do now is just introduce yourself to our viewers. I know Augusta did it.
Augusta did a very good job.
Yeah.
I wear many hats. I'm a father. We have 6 kids. We're a blended family, but we consider all the kids our kids, and we have the 2 grandkids, and grandkids are I mean, it's a joy. Doc will tell you it's if we could have just had the grandkids and skipped the kids, I would have done that. And you guys talked about passion and stuff. We're just passing through this life here, and I tell Renee, we're just a life pointing to the light. Amen. We're just a life, and the Bible talks about us being made out of the dirt. And so we're just dirt talking to dirt about the Savior. Amen. And that's, we can accumulate wealth and all kinds of stuff, but man, listen, you never see a hearse and a U-Haul. Whatever you have, you're going to leave. When you leave this earth, it's staying. Okay. And then your heirs are going to divide it up and spend it. And so the only thing we can take to heaven with us is other people. And so we encourage everybody we see to get it right. And I tell my kids, you got to turn before you burn. Amen.
And that's the line.
And we all come to this country in different ships, but we're in the same boat. And that's to make sure our kids, make sure our grandkids make it to the other side. Because, the Bible talks about this earth, in our life, it's just a vapor. And I tell everybody, if you're going to heaven, this is the only hell you'll ever know. But if you're going to hell, this is the only heaven you'll ever know. So, we just try to encourage and help and support and, just be an ambassador for Christ. Amen. But we got different hats I wear. As Augusta mentioned, one of my favorite hats is coaching basketball, because basketball is like life. You're playing the game, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you can't even buy a bucket. Sometimes that ball just rolls halfway down that cylinder and then it rolls out. And you look at that shot and you think, wow, it's going. And then all of a sudden it don't go. And then the next possession down, the girl throws it up and you're like, that ain't going in. And then it goes in. So that's just like life, sometimes things are going real well and sometimes things aren't. You just got to maintain and keep your cool the whole time. Just like life, when things are going bad, you got to remember that the storm comes, but the storm comes to go. It don't come to stay. So them storm clouds gather, the rain gathers, the wind gathers and comes through, but it's not going to last forever. Amen. There's going to be sunshine at the end, but you got any other questions, fellas?
I'm interested because you said, I read, the bio was dope. And, I read the portion about the girls, but even now with the boys, I have, and I know you have, this is both. I come from, large family, even though small siblings, and I've seen the difference with females of my family who were athletes and the boys. What made you transition from wanting to coach what, a lot of people think is the more, sound athletic men to, in my opinion, watching my cousin's daughter specifically, the more sound game-wise girls?
Well, it's kind of funny. When you're a coach, you're going to get fired. So I got fired from a job. So I was sitting at home and a buddy of mine called me and said, "Hey, Rogers, there's an opening, but it's girls." And I said, "Man, I don't know. I want to coach girls." So anyways, I took that job, and I think that the year before the team won 3 games, we ended up winning like 13 or 14 that year. The next year when I took them over, and I don't know, but something happened during that time, and it's I don't know. The girls are really relationship. When they come in the gym, the first thing a boy does is grab a ball and start shooting. A girl, when they come in the gym, they want to talk. They want to talk and stuff. So it's different. It's different coaching them. You got to know who they are and how you can get their attention. Not every one of them are wired the same, and they're real emotional. So they just want to know that you're there for them, and they need the consistency in their lives. So that's the difference. The boys, they're ready to throw the ball up and let's go. The girls come in, they gotta talk a little bit and get ready, and then they're ready to go.
And where do you coach, John?
It's called Atlantic High School in Port Orange, Florida.
Okay, good.
So John, can you talk to us about your your business, how you got into business. You've been in business for a long time. You're an entrepreneur, and we're really interested because that's an area that we believe can really make a difference in the lives of our listeners, especially young men and women out there. Can you share a little bit about what you do within your business?
So one of our main sources of business, because we have a few of them, is a transportation, a towing and transportation business, and I've been doing that since 1989, 1990 on my own. So my father was an entrepreneur, and he had a lot of businesses and restaurants, bars, hotels, body shops, gas stations, and towing. So my brother, he had a towing business, and them two, kind of taught me the business end of it, of life, and so I learned from them two, business. I started with a couple $100 in my pocket, and my father-in-law at the time co-signed a note for me on a tow truck, and so that's how I started. I started with one truck and a dream. I had a dream, and I worked night and day, answering the phone, responding to the calls, and taking care of business. And one truck went to two trucks, and then two trucks went to three, and three went to four, and four went to five, and then just growing a little bit here and there, 6, 7. Found myself sitting at 10 trucks for a little while, and then we grew it some more. So we have, over 40 pieces of towing and recovery equipment right now in 5 different locations. We have a staff of over 40, and we just, when you guys see them big wrecks on the highways, that's what we clean up. We'll go out there and clean up the big car and tractor trailer accidents. So, and with that, we have an auto sales division where we sell cars, we buy cars, we sell cars, sell trucks, we buy and sell trucks. We always have 20 or 30 vehicles at all times for sale, and so we'll have auctions and all kinds of other stuff going on. But that's part of it. I would encourage anybody with the entrepreneurship spirit inside of them to really think about it and go for it. If you got a dream, no one can take that away from you. If you got the passion for it, nobody can take that away from you. So is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be, but you got to keep going and going and going. When things are tough, you got to keep going. When things are going good, you got to keep going. You cannot get like I tell my girls, when your number's called, don't take your playing time for granted. Okay, don't be casual. No casualness on the floor. Same thing with business. You got to go to work. You got to make them calls. You got to follow up, and you got to take care of business. You got to take care of your customers.
So when you're going, when you're doing great, you're going. When you're not doing great, you got to be going. It's always going, going, going. That's what I hear you saying. In
business, there's no standing still. There's not like, oh, I arrived right here and that's it. No, because either you're going forward or you're backing up. There's absolutely no standing still. Either you're taking ground or you're losing ground.
All right. How about that? Either you're taking ground or losing ground, right? Isn't that the truth? And that is so true. Gary, do you, from one entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, do you have any questions for John? Anything you'd like to ask him?
Well, you just the last thing you mentioned about, you can't stand still, and it's not easy. I remember starting out, and it was a dream, and you had to have it in you. Over the years, people ask me to partnership with them, and I just can't, because the energy I have and what I'll do on the times I'll stay up, I don't see anybody else who has the same energy. Somebody's going to pull me down. So I've just maintained myself, and I've done my own. My wife and my 25-year-old son, they come and they're involved. I can, they have my energy. But to go into partnership, I've kind of stayed away from that, and that has worked for me. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I hope the youngsters out there, John, will learn from you. You started at 2 trucks, 3 trucks, and right now you're up there, but you kept going. You did not stagnate, and I think that's a good thought for young folks out there to listen to and follow the dream, as you say. Follow your dream. I agree with that 100%.
Gary, what you said, nobody's going to have the passion for your business like it's burning inside of you. Nobody's going to do that.
No.
Okay. And you talked about the partnership. That's one ship that don't float. Doc,
Don't float.
is a partnership.
Right? There you go. Partnership doesn't. See, that's a good one. I'll borrow that.
You can have it. There's nobody that's going to work with your zeal and your passion like you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. John, I mean, I remember actually when I started a competition some years ago, John, and I actually did an operation, and I had my speech ready, and the doctor says, don't go on that stage. And I said, Doc, nobody can read that speech with that empathy and everything that I would. It's like a recorded speech. So it's an analogy to say the passion you have, John, and I have, and other entrepreneurs and young ones coming up, Dr. Lax with his the collision with a purpose. No one can really do that for us. We have to do it ourselves.
Amen.
Wait. During the event, a colloquium with the colloquium, something happened there, and I'm going to play a video. Someone sent me a video. I'm going to play a video, and I just ask our folks on our platform to just check it out, and our viewers to give it a look as well.
And we specialize in helping kids become after high school. We want them enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Okay, so I like it when people say, "Oh, hard work, grades, grind," but it does pay off. Okay, so I asked Doc. I said, "Give me the highest GPA," and you were it. Did you know you had the highest GPA amongst your peers? Did you know? Did you know? Well, guess what, man? Do you know who Benjamin Franklin is? You do? We fix the travel with him. Right now, you're going to get a Benjamin right now with the highest GPA. All right? There you go.
Congratulations.
Right.
That's amazing. Can I get y'all?
All right. An example of a man who is into giving and looking out for these students. Here he is giving up. How much did you give him, John?
Well, that day I think we gave a $100 bill
Quick
for
say
the
no.
highest GPA, and it was funny because all them kids were pulling up their GPA. They had no problem logging on. Yes.
Yes, you opened up a can of worms there, didn't you? A good can of good, lots of good worms in that can. But that was awesome.
What was funny is every one of them kids there that night were volunteering.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
So they weren't on the payroll. They were there.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it a Friday or a Saturday night? I can't remember.
It was on a Saturday night.
Saturday.
So they're there on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
They got there 4:00 in the afternoon, set it up, set the gym up, and we're working them tables, and it was 11 o'clock at night before we got out of there.
Yeah,
They were still there, so they worked the full shift.
truly is.
We're so grateful for Dr. Gore, Miss Agnew, and we normally the students don't really get involved with an entity like ours. We're a for-profit business, right? And they're not supposed to get involved. But I think because of what we represent, purpose, and how we engage the students, they volunteer to do all this work. to join us for the, because of course we're giving scholarships as well, and what you really did was a scholarship.
Where did you get that video?
But where did I get the video? That's a different story. They send me everything, John.
Okay.
Yeah, well, she sent that video to me, and I think I sent it. I thought I had sent it to you, but that was just so awesome what you did, and we really and truly appreciate it. You know, and I know he did. I know he was shocked, but that still it was shocked. But again, that's reward for him, right? Because he's doing an awesome job.
Right. Yeah.
And he is doing his work.
Right.
So he should, and that's the reward there was just awesome. As you're listening to us, watching us, if you have any specific questions for John, please feel free to put it in the chat and he will answer them. If you have one for Gary as well about GIFs and the event that he is getting ready to launch, and what is the date, Gary? April
20th.
April 20th.
In Lithonia, Georgia.
And don't forget the big event coming up as well. We'll talk a little bit about that before we wrap it up tonight. Xavier, any questions? Do you have any questions for John that you would?
Yeah, you got me excited. I'm ready to get a truck and get to moving now. But I kind of want to know, in that role, what was like your craziest pickup that you've done?
Wow, there's been a lot of them, man. There's been a lot of them, but one night we received a call from the sheriff's office, and they said that they need us to run out to an accident scene, and they needed us to get there right away. So I hammered down, got there, and I seen this truck wrecked in the ditch. So I was backing up to it, and then the deputy sheriff came up and said, no, it's not that. We need you up here. So about a quarter mile up the road, there was 3 patrol cars. So I pulled up and pulled over, and the sergeant came over, and he was telling me that we got a situation that he's never had before. And it was the car was one of them diplomats, one of them Dodge Diplomat patrol cars. So we're going back, in the early 90s. And it would have been an 80s Diplomat, and might have been a Crown Vic. I can't remember, but so I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, we need you to pick the car up because there was a lady up underneath the car, and she was literally wrapping herself around she was holding on to the drive shaft, and how did she get underneath the car?" And they had arrested her, put her in the patrol car. And she put her hands. She was a little tiny thing, about 90 pounds. She put her hands that were behind her back underneath and got her in the front. So the deputy opened the door up, and she kicked him right in the nose and knocked him down. He was a big guy, and she went up underneath that car. So she was in the car. So we had a old sling style wrecker. So with the cable. So we put the sling up underneath it, and I would hook the J hooks up to the frame on each side. And every time I did it, she would unhook them. So it was the hardest thing. It took me about 10 minutes to finally get the car lifted up, and she was wrapping herself around the rear end and the drive shaft.
Yeah.
The deputies yanked her out from underneath that car and put her in the patrol car. That was the weirdest call, to have that lady up underneath the patrol car trying to dodge being arrested.
It's a crazy story.
If you watch John's Facebook page, right, you will see all type of stories. Some things happen out there, right, John?
Oh, some
you'll
crazy
be
stuff.
surprised. Well, I watch sometimes, and he's live, right? He's like a reporter, right? Like a reporter. He's reporting these incidents as they're happening, and you see some stuff. You check out his page, and you'll see some stuff going on the roadside. On the roadside, when and there are lots of accidents, St. John.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's crazy. These people cannot drive.
Yeah, the rate of accidents is just amazing. So, and that's important again, because as you're out there driving, John, what advice do you have for people out there driving?
Stay in the right lane. Keep plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you. If you see an emergency vehicle on the side of the road, or a broke down vehicle, or a vehicle with their four-ways on, slow down, move over, get in the next lane, go by them. Use the center lane or the left-hand lane for passing only. But when you're driving, stay in the right lane. Avoid as much as you can left-hand turns. Okay. When you're turning left at an intersection, you're subjecting yourself to pull out in front of traffic. So if you can turn right and then catch another light or something and then go across, just little things. Left-hand turns are very, very dangerous. Okay, because you got them people coming and they want to beat the light. You want to get through the light before it turns red. So be very careful on the left-hand turns. Stay in the right lane. Use the center lane, the left lane only when you're passing, and avoid careless driving. Keep your eyes on the road. Do not look at your phone. Use the Bluetooth. The phone kills. If you have steering assist in these newer cars, set your cruise control and use it. The lane assist, steering assist. There's technology now out there that can help you drive safe and avoid a rear end collision. So that's my recommendation.
And very good recommendations, because John see firsthand the result of these accidents. He's seen it all day long.
You guys mentioned the bridge. Them workers on the bridge. They got up. They left the house. They had no idea that this was going to be their last day on this earth. The people driving, okay, and I've been over that bridge several, I don't know how many times, okay, in Baltimore. And the people driving in the cars, had no idea. Here we are. We're going over the bridge. And then, bam, that's it.
And the thing about this bridge, they didn't do anything wrong, these drivers. They just made a decision to be on the bridge that day.
That's it.
Time. Yeah. And so what we're really talking about here is any little decision you make can have so much of an impact on your life. And sometimes you don't even know. So just pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to your decisions, and just make the best decisions you can at all times. So I think we should take a quick break, then come back on. So Donna, can you take us on a break, please?
A collision with purpose. In pursuit of purpose.
We're on live. Voices of Men in a Changing World. All right, so is John on? I see an empty chair there.
John must have had to make a run really quick.
Maybe do you think he went out? He got called on a job. So,
I mean, like he said, you got to keep moving.
You got to keep moving. All right, I'm sure. But while he's there's a chair we're looking at, let's talk to Gary about gifts coming. Oh, there he is. I thought you got called out on a job or something.
No. He gave us a break. I was taking it.
There you go. We didn't say how long the break should be, right? Or would be. Yeah. So I'm going to ask your question first, John, and then I want to ask Gary a question. And John, you talk about how you went from coaching men, and you explain to the coach one thing that is certain: a coach will be fired at some point, right? And then the opportunity came for you to coach the young ladies, and you've done that successfully for some time now. But how did you get into this coaching thing in the first place?
Well, so every one of us is a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every one of us is coaching somebody at some level. You know, when you have employees, you're coaching them.
Mm.
You have kids, you're coaching them. So everybody is a coach. You know, you start off, coaching your children and stuff, and they're in their sports, and then I was approached by Coach McDaniel, Gary McDaniel. He was the head coach at Cincinnati State University, and he asked me to help him out. He took a job in Palm Coast at Flagler Palm Coast High School, and he asked me to be his assistant. So that's where, prior to that, I was helping Roy Lee out, who was a coach at Calvary Christian. Thinking back, people will ask you, they'll ask you, and then then you get involved, and you go to clinics, coaching clinics. They have them all over. And you gotta have a passion for it. You gotta love the kids. You gotta love the sport. You definitely gotta have a passion for it.
You gotta have a passion for it, right?
Absolutely.
So important. Gary, we're going to shift a little bit, and I want you to talk about the big thing coming up this summer. So if you can lay that out for our listeners, and just tell them what GIFS is all about.
Okay. All right. So GIFS, the acronym for the Jamaica International Independence Foreign Song Competition. We're in our fourth staging right now between February 3rd and April 30th. We have Jamaican artists or artists of Jamaican descent living in the diaspora who have been submitting their song. It has to be an original song for the competition. The little clip Laxley played earlier, that's actually a song from the winner from last year, that it was so appropriate for what we're going to do in terms of our fundraiser that we were able to extract it and use it for that short clip. So again, until April 30th, they'll submit their songs. And then between on April 5th and May 15th, we will announce the top 12. From there, the top 12 fans from around the world will be able to vote on their choice for who is going to be on the final night on July 27th here in Snellville, Georgia. Over the years, we have had a good response from fans around the world. The first year we started was 5,000. Next year, we went up to 18,000 votes. And last year we dropped a little, but still a 9,000-10,000. So it's a competition that's held annually during the Jamaican Independence celebration. So it coincides with that. And the number one artist is going to walk away with $8,000 US. Number two with $4,000, and then the third place is 1,000. And we're hoping that these folks, this is a platform for them to elevate themselves. They're out of Jamaica, cannot really compete there. So this is a platform I created so that they can do their thing, show us, bring their talent. And I because I can't enter the competition, I did the theme song, Gimme Jamaica. So I have some relevance in there. I can't enter my own competition. But it's been a good feat. We've over the last 3 years, we've seen about maybe 40 artists who were not known, who have now had a platform, gone on to do other songs and everything, and giving them the exposure. So that's the gist of it. I'm having fun doing that. I think at this stage of my life, I need to do. You get to a stage in life that you need to do the things that you wanted to do when you were younger, because time is running out. Every day, every minute counts. So this should be taking me into my retirement, and I can travel the world, have fun. I mean, we were in China some years ago recording a song. A long time Mr. China run things, so we flew to China to record that and had a great time. So again, I'm just trying to do what I've always wanted to do, and the opportunity has afforded itself, and we're just rocking and rolling.
And I should say that the event we'll be using the same event center as we did with the colloquium, same location, same auditorium. We'll be using again. So John, I know you'll be there this time. You'll have the opportunity again to give out some more scholarships.
Yes.
So I should say that GIFS is a 501c3 nonprofit entity, by the way. So giving out scholarships there is a good thing. It's a good thing.
And one of our things is, as you mentioned, give back. We identified there's a song competition in Jamaica called All Together Sing, which is a high school choirs that compete. And we have committed to them that whoever is the winner of that competition each year, we go down and give a donation. So this year, my wife and I, and I think Dr. Lass is going to be there this year. We're going in June to give back to the high school. Awesome. And the party we're going to have in April, again, we're giving back for an educational cause. So it's all giving back. Jamaica is a land we love. I always say Jamaica is like a girlfriend that you left, but you can never forget her. We keep going back to her. So.
And talking about the event coming up, we all have to wear a uniform, do we?
Yes. So the event on April 20th, which is a fundraiser for the big event, high school jammings, is folks have to wear their uniform that they wore back then or the colors off, and we should have a good time.
That's interesting.
It's gonna be a workout for some people trying to get in that uniform.
Yes. Yes.
I'm very interested now in attending this, not just being an attendee, but an opportunity.
Come on down.
You said original song, correct?
Yes.
Well, Augusta, there's some.
The catch to it. Listen to this. You have to be Jamaican or of Jamaican descent. Don't be like the people who are calling me and saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm dating a Jamaican." No,
married to a Jamaican.
Yeah, I was saying, what is considered Jamaican adjacent? So we're not allowing Jamaican adjacent. Okay, I needed that clarification.
Going forward, we might tweak it a bit. So Laxley, we'll talk. Laxley is the vice president of GIFS, and he's been there since they get go. So Lax, we gotta have a sidebar.
I think so. I think we need to look at ways to have that conversation. But let's take it back to John, because John, I see all these different towing companies out there, and I'm sure that not all towing companies are the same. How competitive it is, and how do you manage that competition?
Oh, it's very competitive. So you got to keep your costs down so you can keep the prices right. You have guys that have one truck, and there's no office. Their phone is their phone, and their office is their truck. So, obviously they can afford to tow a car or a truck cheaper than you. So you just got to let make sure that your prices are in line and you're ready to go. You got to be available 24/7, 365. But hey, can I tell you a funny Jamaican story?
Sure.
I was over in Ocho Rios at Sandals Resort years ago, 20 years ago. Okay. And I was bored, when you're down, you can't do nothing. So we had this driver, and I told the driver, we went by on the way there, we went by this big towing company. And I told the driver, I said, take me there. He said, you can't go there. That man ain't going to let you in. And I said, man, take me there. So the driver took me there, right? And he's telling me, oh, he's not going to let you in. I said, he might not, but he's going to have to tell me that. So when I pulled up, I recognized this truck that was from Florida that he had in his fleet. And one of his yard guys was there, and I spoke to him, and I said, yeah, I recognize that truck. I'm from Florida. I got a towing operation there. And the guy said, oh, come. So next thing I know, I'm in this big office upstairs, and the driver is with me. I'm like, what are you doing? You're the man that said I couldn't make it. So the guy opened up his office and sat down, and I talked to him. His name was Frank Dixon. He had Rescue Towing in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And he had some kind of spring bottled water company too. He was a well-to-do guy, but he had this wrecker that was broke down, and he needed a part. He couldn't find the part. Wow. So I went down there and looked, and I said, Mr. Dixon, I got that part. He said, you do? I said, yeah, I have it on my shelf. And so I when I got back to Florida, I shipped him that part. And I haven't spoken to him in probably 5 or 6 years, but we were going back and forth. When he needed the part, he would call me and I'd ship it to him. But the funny thing about that story was the driver's like, man, that man's not going to let you in. He's not going to talk to you. But I had something that man needed.
Of course.
Yes.
How important is that in life, right?
That's business. That's business.
That is business.
Wow. That's cool.
So I would ask John, because of, I think I've coming from California, I would see, different red people down here saying, from a standpoint, not just the competition, but have you seen like younger people interested? Because it's, as you said, if you're somebody who's a go-getter and a hustler, it could be something where you could make substantial money and it could be a good business for you. Have you seen younger people jumping into the business or having any interest in that?
Yes and no. Okay. It's not like when I was younger, because there was a lot more younger people that were interested in getting into it. This generation, they're not as eager to get into it. Now, the ones that are, and once they taste it and they realize, the community service and the potential income, they get into it. But it's different than 30 years ago.
Right.
But so that's going to be a challenge. I think that's going to be a challenge for this industry. Getting the young people on board, that want to do this, because ones we're finding they just want to work 4 days a week and have 3 days off. 5 days, yeah, but this is 7 days, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The phone don't stop ringing. There's cars on the highway. They're going to break down. They're going to run out of gas. They're going to get a flat tire. They're going to lock their keys in their car. They're going to need service.
That's real. I would almost want to gear that same question towards Gary, because you're in the providing of that home and service for the elderly. It's an unconventional business for somebody who would be younger, but it's something where not only, you're able to make money, but of course provide that service. Have you seen, like, who are the people who you've seen with interest, and are any of them younger people who seem to want to do it, even from, like I said, with just honoring those in their family? Have you seen people younger have any interest, or if they come and pick your brain on the business?
Yeah, well, interestingly, my son.
Before you answer, I should tell him you're working to get your way out of business.
well, and that's the reason. That reason is so I can concentrate on the singing part and thing. But my youngest son, I have two sons. One is a mechanical engineer. He's moved on and he's doing well. The younger one, when he became 18, because you had to be 18 to be able to work in the. So as soon as he became 18, he was 18 January 25th, and on the 26th he was working. He came in and he's still working with me on a part-time basis because he saw a vision where he could help, because we look at it as a ministry, giving back for more reasons than one. So the elderly, for a lot of them, their families can't afford, and coming from Jamaica and coming here in the United States, USA has been good to us. I mean, it just didn't happen. We had to really, sweat and make it happen. So he has been involved, and he's spoken to his friends, and they, for some reason, are not involved because they were surprised that he got involved, because this is taking care of the elderly. I remember being there, and I came in one day and I said, "Where's Miss Jane?" He says, "Dad, I just showered her." I said, "What?" He says, "I see you do it." Right? So you find that the younger folks, the mentality is not there. A lot of them stay back when it comes on to the elderly people because, I remember telling my son, look, when you go in a room, that resident should never know if you smell something. If you smell something that's bad, just think about your nicest cologne you have, because you always have to have a smile. They cannot see on your face. So I've had somebody maybe in their 30s who knew of it, and they're sort of investigating it because they are more medically inclined. So so that's why they're looking at it. I myself, I just happened on this thing because the real estate market went down in 2008, Laxi, and I had this place on an acre and a third. I had to do something with it. So it's either you lose it, you rent it, or you sell it, and none of those were options. So over the years, maybe one or two younger persons have come on board, but the normal person is somebody who's already mature and want to get in. But that's what has happened.
And let me add that this is so, like when John receives a call, just got to respond immediately. Same with Gary. Many times I'm having into a deep conversation with Gary, and he said, "I got to go." Because received that call from him. Yeah. And it's real stuff, he's dealing with real stuff. So John, my question for you is, I know I don't know if you still are, but you've been at least an elected official in your county. I'm not sure if you still are. You're in the office there. Can you talk to us about that?
So, yeah, I still am currently serving my city. And that's, like mission work, the people will call you up and they're going to voice their concerns, and they want to know that you care, and sometimes you could do something about it. Sometimes you can't, when it comes down to a building code matter, if they're building something and that's in the code, well, there's nothing you can do. You can talk to our city manager and try to help them out that way. But but most of the time they just want to know that you care, and just my phone rings all hours of the day and night, and when my constituents call, we're going to show up. We're coming. We're going to see what your problem is and try to help you resolve it. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that you guys know your local leaders, know your local city, county leaders, okay, who they are, and what they stand for, and how they vote. because how they vote is basically who they are. So, you can go to the meetings, you can listen, and you can see, but I encourage all citizens to get involved. There's boards that you could serve on. There's code boards and planning and zoning boards, and there's each town or each city, each county would have a board that you guys could serve on.
Tell me. I just had a quick question. Tell me about Dr. Alvin Jackson.
Oh wow, Dr. Alvin Jackson. He is a author. He's a visionary, and he's a dynamic man of God. That kind of took me back. I didn't think you knew of Dr. Alvin Jackson.
Yeah, I read the bio and did some research and was like, I said this needs more detail.
Okay, so Alvin Jackson is a incredible man of God. I mean, he's our city manager. He's our first African American city manager. Okay, and in our city, and he's doing a phenomenal job. He's one that if there's a problem right now, and I call him, he's going to get in his car. He's going to show up, whether it's 2:00 in the morning or 2:00 in the afternoon. He's a servant leader. And his bio is impressive. And one day I'll bring him up there to Atlanta, to one of your conferences, and you guys will get to meet him.
Awesome.
Right. And maybe you can bring him on this platform as well.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to have him on.
That would be a little bit easier.
So that's a good start, right? That'd be a good start to bring him on the platform.
Yes.
Then we'll bring him to the next, which is February 24th, 2025. We're having our next conference, our next colloquium. Love to have him there.
Yes.
We're looking for, of course, Mr. McCool, Gary, we honored him for all the work he's doing. We're looking for more people like Gary, like yourself, who we can honor at our next event. So we're looking for recommendations, and maybe he's the guy.
You know what? He would be honored, to be recognized. Absolutely.
All right. So let's bring him on. You and him come back on, and we go at it. We'll talk. Yeah. Civic responsibilities, civic duties, not just what politicians do, but as individuals.
Right.
Constituents. We are not as engaged as we ought to be at the local level. We get caught up in statewide elections and in general elections, and often they're not the important. They're not the ones we should be as engaged in. It's those local elections where you talk about serving on the code board or something like that. Today, I was in a conversation with 20 individuals from Rockdale County. We're talking about a project. And these are the individuals we're talking to. Some of the staffers, of course. We didn't go to the political level, but we're talking to staffers. So it's so much more we need to be involved with and get involved with, and we're not doing it. We really don't know. We're ignorant. All this stuff. So big stuff. Love to have him on. And you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I tell everybody they're worried about who's occupying Pennsylvania Avenue. The Bible talks about God puts in office the elected officials. God does. Okay. And I tell them, I said, man, you don't need to know. Or you do need to know, but you don't need to really, there's nothing you can do who's in Pennsylvania Avenue, who's in that house. But you gotta know who's in your house. Amen. Mm-hmm. You gotta know what spirit's in your house. Okay. Mm-hmm. You got to be concerned with that. What is in your house. we can't control. We'll go cast our vote, and we vote on who we think, in our opinion, who's doing the best job for us. Okay, and you go cast your vote, but you don't control it. Whoever gets elected gets elected. Okay, yeah. But you just got to make sure that who is in your house, because the Bible says we can't serve two. Either you're serving God or you're serving God's enemy. So that's what I tell everybody. Locally, you guys have more power locally. In your cities, in your county elections, in your state attorney elections. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, in your sheriff's elections. We're very fortunate in our Tri-County area here. We have 3 dynamic sheriffs that are taking a bite out of crime. They're no nonsense when it comes to crime. So we're blessed there. But I would encourage any young man, older man to get involved, women to get involved. And I think everybody should run for public office at least one time in their life.
Oh, okay, I'm talking to Donna, young lady, a good friend of mine. I'm encouraging her. Her name is Donna Thompson. I'm encouraging her to get involved. I'm talking to Augusta, young man, very more than capable. Get involved, not just as a voter. I'm talking to Mr. McCook, and I said it to him just the other day. His wife didn't like it, but she heard me saying it to him that he should be running for some office somewhere, and she said, "No. I want him home. So I'm saying it again publicly that it's something you guys need to consider. Get involved. Just as John said, you can never be too young, too old. It's just from the military. I believe you should serve in the military. Everyone should serve. That's my personal opinion. At some point, if this country is so important to you, I think you need to step up at some point. Even if it's only for 4 years and get out. Because it's you learn something about service. You learn something about giving. And I think it's the same thing with politics. You should get involved. So I said it here tonight publicly, and thanks, John, for endorsing that.
John, I think I'll take a leaf out of John's book. John said something that we should. I would run for my house.
No, he said, know who is in your house.
Right.
This is just running for your house. Know who is in your house. But he also
in my house.
If you're married to a Jamaican woman, you ain't running the house.
I agree 100%, John. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And John would know something about that, right?
A little bit.
Thanks for the heads up, John. Thanks for the heads up.
Honestly, a happy wife makes a happy life.
Yes.
So, and a lot of times over the years, I've said, I think of my wife as the stabilizer bar in the family. That person that keeps the boys and me, everybody on track. We as men sometimes we pretend that we know it all and we don't know it all, but that little soft touch there brings it out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so important. So it's a unit, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a team.
Yeah, and when the unit is working, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So John, what else can you share about the towing business? I know you talk a little bit. Xavier asked a question, and he had to leave. He had another appointment, and he said that he had to step off. But we appreciate him coming on. But Xavier started touching it. But how do you get into this business? How do you get into business? Because it seems like there's a cost. There's a cost, right?
Man, no matter what you do, there's a cost.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
You know, our Savior, he said, count the cost. Before a man build a house, must count the cost.
Mhm.
So there's several different factors. There's equipment. Okay. I would encourage somebody to start off with one truck, you know, probably a flatbed. And then there's insurance. So you the initial purchase of the equipment. Now you got to insure this thing. And depending on what you're in, Florida has one of the highest insurance rates in the nation. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Our insurance costs are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So you need to figure out your cost, and then I would you know, do a market analyst. You know, analyze what garages you go for, and see how they're going to pay you. Whether they pay you weekly or monthly, you know, you got to know all that. How long? Because the lifeline for any business is the cash flow. Is if you don't have the cash flow, if you don't have that money coming in, it can't go out. So you got to make sure that you know, you're going to be able to float it. So you got to count the cost. You know, the startup cost, and then the funny thing about the equipment doesn't, it depreciates, but it doesn't depreciate that much. You know, it kind of stays, you know, sometimes it appreciates, you know. So the equipment, you know, you can always recoup your money if you have to unload the truck. So I would just encourage anybody that wants to get in it to make sure that they have enough work, make sure that the driving record is clean, and that they can afford the insurance. Because the startup cost on a new towing company for insurance is hard. It's hard. It's a hard market, and that's about it. You know, they could make it. They could do it if they want to do it.
And you know, there's a saying, no one said it was going to be easy, but once you pull it off, the returns and rewards are awesome. But you got to do the work. You got to be, you know, you got just like most things in life, you know, there's no, if it's too easy, then maybe something is off.
Right.
You got to really think about that. And there's a cost for everything. You know, we're touching down on the hour and a half mark, and you know, we said that we're going to end it. You know, and we got about a minute to go, so we're going to go around the room. And Augusta, let's start with you. Some closing arguments, please.
Oh man, nothing much. I think John hit it on it in the end. Vote locally. Vote locally. I totally agree. Also, don't just be a voter. You get an opportunity, and you're somebody who really is seeking change. Go out and be the change. Don't just go be a voter. Go and get your name on the ballot. You might win, and you might change way more than you expect.
Thank you, Augusta. Gary, I know you got to run as well.
Yeah, well, again, thanks for the invitation, Dr. Lax, and co-host Augusta and Xavier exited earlier. John, very, very entertaining. I think I could listen to you. Maybe you need to do a book or something out there, because you have a wealth of information, and we thank you for the service and you know what you do there. I learned something about partnership. That ship does not sail.
It doesn't float.
Doesn't float. It doesn't float. And it's always good to hear from folks who have been to our island in the sun and the experience they have there. I was making notes. I made notes of that person, Frank Dixon. Don't think I was making notes. In Ocho Rios, I'm going to try and look him up.
Hey, please do. Let me know how he's doing.
What was the name of the company he had?
Rescue. So if you got your people in Ocho Rios,
yeah,
see if he's still around. Frank Dixon.
Yeah, I will check him out and see what he's doing, and make sure you guys reconnect. But again, very informative, and I always say in life, you're never too old to learn. So I have learned some things from what you have mentioned tonight. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
All right. John, you're on deck again, man. Some closing
Well, for the younger people, the world is yours. You reap what you sow. If you don't put nothing into it, you can't get nothing out of it. It's just not going to come. You got to get up and go to work. You got to work. Work is not a dirty word, man. You got to work, and you got to take care of people. You take care of people, you go to work, and things happen, because at the end of the day, it's about what you do for others that really counts.
True.
And you can end it a better way. What you do for others that really count, and that's what we're all about. Gentlemen, my closing thing is to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you, Augusta, for here for the week. It's a major commitment. Xavier is not here right now. He had to leave, but he came on and did his piece. One or other moderator, he was not able to attend tonight because he had something else he had to take care of that was just as important. He had to host an event tonight, so he couldn't make it. Gary, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everything that you're doing in making a difference in lives, changing lives, impacting lives, and just continue to do what you're doing. We're here to support you as you support us, because you do that in a big time way. And John, I really appreciate and thank you for coming on and for your knowledge and all that you share. I have firsthand information about who you are. John is actually married to my niece, so I know a little bit of something.
Okay.
He's not a stranger, right? He's not a stranger.
So that's why you look about Jamaican. Okay, now I see.
So when he said that if you're married to a Jamaican woman, that's why I say he knows a little bit of what he's talking about. So he's not a stranger. So I appreciate you, John, for coming on. You're a busy man.
Well, thank you for having me, man. I enjoyed it. I really did.
And we want you to bring that gentleman back on. You let me know when he's available.
I will.
We need him on this platform.
Okay.
So much to bring him. Just tell us when he can come back, and we'll bring him on. And I want to say thank you to all our viewers out there, because without them, we wouldn't have anyone to. We can talk, but who would be listening? And we need people listening and sharing what we're talking about, because it's only going to impact someone if others are listening and they're sharing it. So we encourage you to continue to join us on Thursdays at 7:30. Every Thursday, we're going to have something to talk about, something meaningful, something that will add value to at least one person. And if it's adding value to one, then we're good with that. If it's only one, we're good with that. So we appreciate that so much. So we're going to Maybe should we bring Donna on? Because I want to say thank you to Donna, our producer. Maybe Donna can jump on and close out the show live. Donna, you want to come on? Let's bring Donna on. Unmute your phone, Donna.
Oh my gosh. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening again.
Did you want me to go ahead and close out, or?
Please close it out.
Sure. So I would like to say thank you all for being on the platform this evening. We greatly appreciate you spending the time with us. You have shared a wealth of information, which is wonderful. I've definitely learned something from John about the left-hand turn, so I'm going to be more conscious about when I'm traveling and try to make sure I'm doing the right-hand turn, and if I have to turn around or something, right, to be safe. So definitely appreciate those safety tips. We definitely all need it. And to our viewers, like always, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hope you all have also gained a lot more knowledge, understanding, wisdom. Hopefully you got some really good nuggets from this episode, and I'm quite sure you did. And just, have a blessed evening. Be safe out there, and blessings always. And we will see you next Thursday right here at 7:30 p.m.
30. Peace.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
A collision with purpose. In pursuit of purpose.